A very good morning to all my students. So we were discussing our chapter 2, that is nutrition in animals. In my previous lecture, I have discussed about the organs which are involved in the process of digestion. What are the main digestive organs and the glands which are associated with the process of digestion. Today we will discuss in details about the process of digestion, how the food digestion takes place in our body. So let's see. So the human digestive system. First we will discuss about the esophagus and the stomach. We will discuss about the movement of food in the esophagus and the process of digestion in the stomach. The process of digestion begins in the mouth. It helps us in chewing the food, biting and grinding the food into simpler forms. Now while chewing the food gets mixed with the saliva which is secreted from the salivary gland. Now it forms a soft palate which then passes through the mouth and enters into the food pipe. Now while moving into the esophagus or food pipe, in the pharynx there is a flap-like structure called epiglottis is present. This epiglottis gets closed as the food passes through the food pipe and prevents its entry into the windpipe. Now in the esophagus there is a wavy muscular contraction and relaxation which pushes the food down the alimentary canal. This wave-like muscular movement is called peristalsis or peristaltic movement. Now, the food enters into the stomach. The stomach is a flattened U-shaped structure and it secretes mucus, hydrochloric acid and digestive juices. This act on the food and chemical digestion of food takes place. The mucous membrane protects the inner wall of the stomach from the effects of acid. Now, HCl hydrochloric acid kills the bacteria that enters along with the food. And the stomach, which secretes the digestive juices, breaks down the proteins present in the food into simpler forms. Now muscular contraction in the stomach churn the food mass into further breaking down. It further breaks down the food mass and mixes with the secretion in the stomach and it forms a thick liquid which is called the chyme. Now the chyme exits the stomach and enters in the small intestine where further digestion of food takes place. This is all about the process of digestion in the mouth and the stomach. Good morning students. So my today's lecture will be on process of digestion in the small intestine and large intestine. In my previous lecture, I have already discussed about the process of digestion in the mouth and the stomach. Now today we will be discussing how the process of digestion takes place in the small intestine and large intestine. What happens after the food passes from the stomach and enters into the small intestine. Now let's see. Now the food remains in the stomach for about 4 hours and it forms chyme. Chyme then leaves the stomach and enters into the small intestine. It is the largest part of the digestive tract, measures 7.5 meter in length. It is highly coiled structure and it is a part where most of the nutrients of the food are absorbed. Digestive glands, liver and pancreas also join in this process. Liver secretes bile stored in the gallbladder and helps in the digestion of fats. And pancreas secretes pancreatic juice which helps to break down proteins and carbohydrates. Now, intestine secretes intestinal juice which break down carbohydrate into glucose, fats into fatty acid and glycerol, proteins into amino acids. Now, the digested food passes into the bloodstream. This process is called absorption. In the small intestine, there is finger-like projection present called the villi. This villi is richly supplied with blood vessels and it increases the surface area for greater absorption of food. Now the food passes through the small intestine and enters the large intestine, which is also called colon. In the large intestine, it absorbs water, manufactures vitamins, produces mucus, form and expel feces. The large intestine pushes the feces into the rectum and then it is finally eliminated out of the body through the anus. So in this way, the process of digestion is completed in human being.